Hi there, and welcome to this new video. Today, we're going to look at a brand new workflow use case. In previous videos, we analyzed a workflow use case that allowed us to download images from a website. And today, we're going to see how to create a workflow that uses an LM to summarize text on a page. So let's go to our extension on the Workflows page. We're going to create a brand new workflow and call it Summarizer. It will be a trigger type. In a future video, we'll look at what the lambda type is. For this video, we'll choose the trigger type. Let's open the workflow we just created and see which nodes we'll need to do what we want. Naturally, we'll start with a trigger node. We'll use the When Started node. Next, we'll add a node that lets us select text, specifically text from the currently open web page. To do this, we can either use Get Selected Text to retrieve text that is currently selected, or we can use Get All HTML or Get All HTML of selected text. For simplicity's sake, we'll use Get All Text. As the name suggests, it simply retrieves all the text on the website. If we try to run it, we'll see that it doesn't work. This is because we need to provide a value for output field name, which is required. For example, we can enter content as the value and then run the node again. You can see that it has automatically retrieved all the text on the page on the left. Here we can see that it's very long. Naturally, we don't need all that text, so we'll have to select a specific section. To do this, we'll use the tool called DOM Selector. The DOM Selector provides you with an inspector. This inspector allows us to visually select a specific section of the current website. So if I click here, it automatically tells me that the DOM Selector is available. If I go to the website, you'll see that the selector automatically appears and allows us to select specific elements on our page, or at least a specific section, every time. In our case, since I want a summary of the header, I'll select these elements. It will automatically generate a very precise CSS selector that targets the chosen section exactly. If you click Test, you can see that the text from the targeted section appears automatically, ranging from Automate Your Life, Get More Done, to Knowledge Graph, which is this part here. Then what we need is an LLM, which will take the retrieved content, analyze it, and then generate a summary. In the Nodes panel, we'll go to the AI section, then to AI Agent, and you'll see that there are different types of agents. In our case, we need a basic LLM chain, which allows us to make a simple request to our model. If we double-click on the node, we need to provide a prompt, which will be passed to the model. For our purposes, we'll just type, "Give me the summary of the following text." Next, we need to feed the text extracted by the previous node into this one. To do this, go to the Input section on the left. Then, under Direct Input. Direct Input contains data from the previous input nodes that are directly connected to this node. And the Relative section contains data from previous nodes that have no direct connection to the current node. So here we have the keyword content, which contains exactly the value we retrieved. So here's a quick tip. It's often very useful to run the preceding nodes first before moving on to the following nodes, because when you do this here at the input level, you'll be able to see examples of what the results of the preceding nodes will look like during future executions of your workflows. Here, what we're interested in is the value of content. and you can see that the cursor looks slightly different when I hover over it. You're probably wondering, why? Well, it's because we can drag and drop it. So we can drag it and drop it here. Code will automatically be injected into our prompt. It's actually very easy to understand. It simply lets us target the node with the ID getAllNode-2-764 and then retrieve the value of content. We call this an expression. So if you click on expression, you'll see that it's highlighted much more clearly. And if we exit and come back, it will automatically be in expression mode. Of course, you can always switch back to fixed mode and return to expression mode whenever you want. You also have this little button here that lets you open a sort of editor, giving you the ability to make slightly more complex changes. Currently, this node doesn't work yet because it isn't connected to a model. As you can see, this is a rather unique type of node because it can use dependencies. This one takes two dependencies. We have one that's mandatory, the model, which you can see marked with a red star, and another dependency, which is the output parser. We'll explore the output parser in a future video. When you click the plus button here, it takes you directly to the page where you'll find the various model providers. You can either use WebLLM, a node that lets you run models directly in the browser, or use the OLLAMA node. For the purposes of this video, we'll use OLLAMA. Next, we'll connect it to our agent. You'll notice that the connection to the dependencies is automatically displayed as a dashed line. So, let's open the OLLAMA node. Here at the top, we have some instructions on how to launch OLLAMA on your machines so they can be recognized by our extension. It explains that you should run it from a terminal by simply copying this command. The node can automatically detect all models currently installed in OLLAMA. I'm going to choose Granite 3 Dense. Now we can run the AI agent. This will take a little while. And we can see that the execution was successful. To verify this further, we can check the logs section. Here, we can see the logs generated during execution. Let's go back to the visual editor for a moment, then open our agent node. In the Output tab, we can see the response received from the model. Depending on the model used, this may be more or less coherent. Here, just for fun, we could also decide to display this summary on the open page. To do this, simply use the Display Markdown node. It's located under In-Page Action, and then Display Contents. Here, you'll find all the nodes that allow you to inject content into a web page. We have Display Object, which lets you display an object, and Display Markdown. In our case, since we have plain text, we can use Display Markdown. It accepts text in Markdown format as well as plain text. In the node settings, we'll set the title to Summary, and for the content, we'll simply drag and drop the agent's response here. We save all of this, then run the entire workflow. Here, we see that a small pop-up appears with the summary. We can expand the pop-up, minimize it, and also copy the text value directly using this button. Phew, that's a lot of information. But don't worry, that's it for today. In the next videos, we'll analyze in detail what each of these nodes does, how they work, what they need, and what their different use cases are. Thank you for watching, and be sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next videos.